Hello and welcome back to my part two, don't know what I'm doing for, part two of my CD collection. So we just left off with Girls Aloud, the cheesiness. So we are now on to Green Day. And the only ones I own physically are the Uno Dos Tres album, or Trey, however you pronounce it. So here, the Uno Dos Tres. So again, I saw a lot of mixed reviews about these albums all together online. I think Uno was okay, wasn't too bad. I think most of the songs on it are really good. Like, I really like Nuclear Family, Carpe Diem, Kill the DJ, and Oh Love. I think that they were like my favourite ones. But again, it's not very Green Day-y. Like, if you listen to the 21st Century Breakdown album or the American Idiot album, they're not the same style, and you can tell that they wanted to do that from this album, which is fine. I mean, I understand that bands want to experiment a little bit with the music. It's better than having the same thing. But I just think some of the songs were a little bit rushed and maybe could have had a little bit more time put on them for that one. So the Dose album, I think again was probably even worse than the Uno album, to be honest with you. Again, I like some of these songs, like See You Tonight, Wild One, Stray Heart, and I think that's it. There wasn't many on there that stood out to me. There wasn't anywhere I was like, oh, that's a really good song, I remember that. Because looking at some of these, I don't know what they go like unless I put them if I put it onto my computer and listen to it. So again, I don't think that one was the best album that they've done. And Trey actually was my favourite one out of the three of them. I think they've got such better songs. This sounded like Green Day, this album, in my opinion. Like, you've got Brutal Love, Drama Queen, Ex-Kid, Sex, Drugs and Violence, A Little Boy Named Train, Amanda, Dirty Rotten Bastards, 99 Revolutions, The Forgotten. I mean, The Forgotten, that is just a brilliant track. It's like a really like ballady track, but it's really good. And I think this one was definitely the best, and I think that's probably why they released it last, because it kind of got everyone had already got the other two, so like, oh, I might as well get the third one. But yeah, this one was really good, so that one's probably in the best out of the three of them, as I've just said. Right, this is gonna get a little bit cringe and a little bit cheesy now. The Hannah Montana 2 Meet Miley Cyrus album. I'm not even gonna go into this really. It's just double cringe. I think the songs are just really sort of Disney teen sort of thing. So yeah, when it came out, I was really hyped about it. 14-year-old me was really hyped about it. But now I look at it and just think, why did I buy this? Especially now Miley Cyrus is nothing like this. Like, I still like Miley Cyrus, but she's just not this anymore, and it just makes me cringe looking at the entire thing. Again, another kind of cringy one is High School Musical concert CD, and I think I got this at one Christmas sometime, just because I had like a Disney Channel obsession thing, like Sweet Life, High School Musical, Hannah Montana. I think they were like the three things that I watched on Disney Channel, and maybe that's So Raven. I think, yeah, so that's why that's here. Haven't really listened to it that much. If I want to, I can just put the film in, so. Okay, not cringe is Hollywood Undead, American Tragedy, the deluxe version of this. So if people have listened to Hollywood Undead in the past, they'll know that these are kind of like scenes, sort of, they sing about very depressing things. And I know I said I don't like albums that make you feel depressed, but it doesn't make you feel depressed. They just talk about depressing things. Their songs are sort of they've still got a very good beat. They're still sort of upbeat a little bit, so kind of difficult to describe unless you've actually heard Hollywood Undead. So go and give it a listen. Not much I can say on that. I've got JLS Jukebox, and I was a big JLS fan when they first came as a group. Like, I've been to see them in concert and things. I know, a bit cringe, but this one was okay. Like, She Makes Me Wanna feat Dev was okay, I suppose. It was a little bit cheesy, but it was a good catchy song. Do You Feel What I Feel? I was a little bit mixed about that. Like, when it first came out, I was just like, what is that song? I don't really like it. Teach Me How to Dance was good. Take You Down, and I think that's it. Again, I don't really know many of the songs on this, and I've really gone off JLS, and seeing as though they're not JLS anymore, I think it's a little bit irrelevant to me, that. And again, I've got JLS Out of This World. I used to have this poster on my wall. That's how cringe I was. But again, I think this one was a little bit better. Not all the songs were great on it though, but at the time I liked it. So that is why that's in there. Don't have any JLS on my iPod anymore. I have Joe Jonas' Fast Life. And I still like the Jonas Brothers. You know, I still follow them on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. And I went to see them in Wembley back in 2008, I think, quite a while ago. And that was a really good show, actually. I don't diss the Jonas Brothers. I think they did some great music. And Joe Jonas' album is actually quite good. Not as good as the Jonas Brothers together, but still did his own. It's still good to see him doing his own thing and stuff. Like See No More, like All This Time. Love Slayer, I think, is the best one, and Kleptomaniac. So if you like the Jonas Brothers, or you like to try something new, go and give Joe Jonas's album a listen to, see what you think. The next one is Joe McElderry, The Climb, the single from The X Factor, which also includes Somebody to Love and Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Not really a lot I can say about it, really. It's just his songs that he sung on The X Factor. And I've got his Wide Awake album as well, which was actually a really good. I liked every song on there. So yeah, really good. Like Someone Wake Me Up was good. Superman, Real Life Starter. Like all of them had sort of different rhythms to them and different musical influences, if you might want to call it. And then it had The Climb on there as well, which is what was on the single. So yeah. This is again very Disney. This is the Jonas Brothers' first album, and I still really enjoy this album. Like I don't have it on my iTunes, but if I put it into a CD player on my laptop or something, you know, I still get a really big buzz off this album, and I think that is one of the main things from an album. No matter how old it is, if it still sounds great when you listen to it, then you know it's a good album. It is 2007, so this shows just how old it is. But I remember going to Morrison's to pick this up, and I was just so happy to have it, and I'm so glad I bought it because it is just a fantastic album, and I'm not even gonna lie. I like the Jonas Brothers, and I got their new singles when they came out last year, I think so. Like Pom Poms, that song, and that other one, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but this one was a really decent album, so I really enjoyed that. And then I got their Lines, Vines and Trying Times, which you could tell that they'd improved on their voices and things by this time. But I don't enjoy it as much as the first one. But I think the first one's more nostalgia for me rather than how good it is. I rather than nostalgia, but I think the first one is so much better than this one. Did enjoy it though, so there's nothing wrong with it. Just didn't think it was good as the other one, and a little bit longer as well, which again was one of the best ones. Still beats Lines, Vines and Trying Times. Like BB Good, one of the best tracks. Burning Up, Shelf, Video Girl, Pushing Me Away. Live to Party as well, which was the UK bonus track. So if you're not from the UK, you probably didn't get the bonus track on this one. Not like people are probably bothered now, but yeah, that's the Jonas Brothers selection that I have. This is a more recent one. I think that I got this last Christmas, I think. Katy Perry's Prism album, because I quite like Katy Perry. I liked her first album and I liked the second album that she released. So Prism, I was like, oh, it's Katy Perry, it's gonna be good. It was kind of good, kind of okay sort of thing. It's not one of those albums that I'd be like, oh, I must listen to this album today. Like, I like Raw, I like Legendary Lovers, Birthday, Walking on Air. This Is How We Do, again, that is a brilliant song. Again, they're probably my top ones. It's not one that I'd say, oh yeah, whatever, but it's decent. It's not terrible. So this is another old one. This is Kelly Clarkson's Breakaway, and I think this was her first album. And this is how I kind of discovered Kelly Clarkson, because I didn't know where she'd come from. I didn't know she was from American Idol or anything like that, because I didn't watch American Idol. It wasn't shown in the UK at that point or something. But I'm since this album, I've listened to every other Kelly Clarkson album that's been released. I do think this is a good one, but I think All I Ever Wanted was probably the best album just because of the songs on it. I could just listen to and not get bored. But these are more sort of, some of them are more ballady songs, so I'm not always into ballad songs. They have to be they have to really grab me into it to really appreciate it. And I know that sounds really sort of uneducated or whatever, but it's just my opinion on music, really. I sort of like faster music. This is Kids in Glass Houses in Gold Blood. Now, I really, really like Kids in Glass Houses, so I was like, this album seriously cannot disappoint. And when I listened to this, I was so disappointed. It actually pained me how disappointed I was. Like, I don't think there was any good tracks on it. I think apart from Annie Mae, and Only the Brave Die Free. But I was so disappointed with this because the first few albums that Kids in Glass Houses have done have been fantastic, and I just don't know what happened to this one. So if anyone wants to tell me any information on that, please do, because I was so upset when I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. Right, this is now onto my Kylie collection, and there's a lot of Kylie in here. So if you don't want to watch the Kylie collection, please feel free to just skip along, because it will go on for a little while. Because if people know me, they know that I'm a massive Kylie fan. So the first one in my pile is the Aphrodite album, and I think this is one of Kylie's best albums to date so far, because it's got so many sort of just typical Kylie songs. It's kind of hard to explain again if you're not a Kylie fan, but sort of like All the Lovers was the first single off the album, and it was just so sort of, it made you sort of feel like you're floating a little bit. It's one of those songs where you listen to and you kind of just get floated off the earth. That sounds really weird, but that's just what it kind of made me feel like. Then you've got Get Out of My Way, which again is just kind of, if you heard it in a club, you'd get up and dance to it. Aphrodite, the title of the album, that's such a feel-good song. It's just sort of upbeat and again makes you just feel happy, I suppose. And Better Than Today, that's just got a good backgroundy music kind of thing. So again, this is one of the best albums that Kylie has, and that was from 2009. Wow, I didn't think it was that old. I remember ordering this online because you got like the DVD and the booklet with it and everything, because it was the deluxe version. So if you are a Kylie fan, please obviously leave me some comments and get the deluxe version of this if you haven't already. My next one of the Kylie ones is the Body Language, and I think I can't decide what my favourite Kylie album is, but I think Body Language is one of them, because it's just, it's got so many good songs on it. It's got Slow is really good, and it is quite a slow song, but it's a good song. Still Standing, Secret Take You Home, Red Blooded Woman, Chocolate Obsession, After Dark. I think the only ones that I'm not a massive fan of are Loving Days. I just thought that was a little bit too slow and a little bit too not fitted for this album. Like, it's still a good song, but I just didn't think it fitted on this album. Like, I Feel For You is kind of like disco-y, dubstep-y kind of thing. So I don't know why Loving Days was on there. But apart from that, this album is so good, and it is a little bit battered because it's been out since 2003, this album, so it is quite old. But yes, and I'm also going to Kylie's Kiss Me Once tour in November, so I'd love to see anyone there at the Sheffield date, please. My next one is the Confide in Me, Irresistible Kylie, and I actually didn't know this existed, and I found it in HMV one point that I hadn't got, and there was so many songs on there that I'd not even heard of, so it was a pretty good buy, and it's 2 CDs, and I haven't listened to it much, to be honest. I think I listened to it when I first got it. This is from 2007, so a lot of them I couldn't actually tell you like what songs I like, and that sounds really bad because I know I'm a Kylie fan, I should know this, but Kylie's been around since before I was even born, so there are going to be songs that I'm not going to have heard straight away as soon as they're released. But I might have to give this a listen again just to refresh my memory. It might be quite nice to do that. The Fever album. I think Fever is probably one of my top albums as well. Again, sorry it looks a little bit battered, but this is from 2002. Again, every song I love on there, and it's a really good dance album, this one, which is what Kylie is really good at doing. It just felt so good, like More, Love at First Sight, Can't Get You Out of My Head, Fever, Give It To Me, Come Into My World. I mean, all of them really on there are just fantastic songs, and if you're a Kylie fan, then you'll know the songs that I'm talking about. I got Kylie's Greatest Hits, and this was actually my first ever Kylie album that I got when I was around 7, I think. well, 8 then, because it came out in 2002, so I must have been older than 7, because I must have been, yeah, I was 9-ish, 8, 9, when I got this. I remember getting it at Christmas, and I'm really annoyed though, because if you look at the CD, it's so scratched. You can tell that I got it when I was younger. So the one of the tracks, It Might Be Got to Be Certain, doesn't play because it's that scratch. It just jiggers. So unfortunately, if anyone plays this CD, it's kind of a little bit jumpy at times, and that's just because I didn't look after it when I was little. So, and then on the other side, it's got mixes of different songs that are unreleased and rare. So that's pretty good. And this is actually one that I think I really enjoy this album, because it's just got loads of old Kylie songs from the 80s, 90s on, which is the ones that I like the best. I got the Intimate and Live one. This is from, I don't think it tells you what year it's from, but I think it's when she did a show in Australia, I think, I'm not sure. Again, really good. Kylie's really good live. So yeah, I enjoyed this album. Haven't listened to it a lot because I have so much music now that I kind of listen to more of the new release albums and sort of stick these on when I have time, which isn't a lot of time at the moment. And then I've got Kylie's recent album, which is Kiss Me Once, and I got the deluxe version with the 2 extra tracks on, and I think it's my favourite album to date. Like I said, Aphrodite and Fever, but this one, I think this is the best album that she's done. And I know it's kind of 2014 and it's kind of into that, but honestly, it's one of the best albums, and it just has so many good tracks on, and I'm so glad that we waited, and it was worth waiting for, because this is just brilliant. Like every track on it, I think, apart from Beautiful, like I do like Beautiful, but it's just not my favourite, and I just put my least favourite on there. It's with Enrique Iglesias as well, so it's kind of a little bit different, but it's still good, and that's why it's my favourite, just because it's got so many feel good tracks on, and I feel like she worked really, really hard on it. My next one is Light Years. Again, I really like this album, but as I say, I'm a Kylie fan, so I'm going to like every album that she's done, and I think every song on there is really good. There's not a lot I can say. I know I keep saying the same thing, but it's Kylie. Kylie's really good to me. She's one of the people that I look up to, so I'm not really going to give much of a bad word about her. So yeah, that's the Light Years one, and that was from 2000, so I was 7 when that one came out. And I have the Ultimate Kylie, which is, again, it's more of a greatest hits one, but with more of her modern, newer stuff as well as her old stuff. So it's basically the same as the other one, just with different tracks on. I also have the DVD of this with the videos on of the first CD. And the last Kylie album is the X album. Now, I like the X album, but I think it's my least favourite out of all the albums she's done, just because some of them, like Cosmic, I really do not like Cosmic. And I know I said I wouldn't say a lot of bad words, but Cosmic is just, I just don't like that song. Don't know what it is. It doesn't fit in with the album, and I just think it's just one of those songs where you just sort of think, I can't really get into that. It's kind of one of those slow, sort of random, it's just so random to be on there. So I don't know what Kylie was doing when she put that on there, but I think that's the only album on there that I don't particularly like. All the others are good. I think Nudity is my favourite, and Wow, because they're really sort of dance songs and fun. So yeah, I went to the X tour, which was fantastic as well, so a lot of the songs on here were on there. So apart from Cosmic, this album's okay. Like, it's Kylie, it's going to be good. So that's the end of part 2. I hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe. Part 3 will be coming soon.